baby, with picks and point totals for every game on the Week 1 slate, including Steelers at Bills. Hey, congrats to Josh Allen on his mega extension. $258 million can buy a whole lot of folding tables. Right, Bills Mafia? We are also going deep on the Chiefs playing host to America's team, my Cleveland Browns. The last time these two played,
and he flies in for the touchdown.
You know what? Actually, it doesn't matter. Let's move on. And what about those season-long races for the likes of MVP and Rookie of the Year? We are picking our favorites for that and a whole lot more on Game Day View presented by Mercedes EQ. And it starts right now. Hello, everybody. Welcome to Game Day View. My name is Rachel Bonetta. I am the new kid here, but you recognize these friendly faces: Andrew Hawkins, Cynthia Freeland, Greg Rosenthal. Guys, it is a brand new season. Football is here. I just want to say thank you guys to these guys for accepting me into what was already an incredible show. You guys have been so awesome. Cynthia is maybe the smartest person I've ever met. Hawk, you're up there somewhere. But thank you guys. I really just want to say thank you. I'm so excited to work with you this year.
Welcome. Yeah, I take total offense to you not mentioning me there when Cynthia is the smartest person.
You're there too, somewhere. No, you guys are all amazing, and I'm so excited to get started. And let's kick things off. Let's talk about some football. We get things going with Steelers at Bills. I have breaking news. Ben Roethlisberger, best shape of his life. Perhaps. Never seen or read that before on a teleprompter. Buffalo favored by 6.5 here. 48.5 is the total in this one. Hawk, why don't you start us off?
I'm going with the Buffalo Bills. I got them winning 28-24. The reason being, I'm giving the edge in the matchup I'm looking at, which is the Buffalo Bills wide receivers. I think they actually got better from a year ago where they broke a lot of records up in Buffalo. They got Emmanuel Sanders in. Camaro is there now. Obviously, Cole Beasley. This might be the best route-running receiving core in the National Football League, and they match up well against the Steelers, whose weak part of their really good defense is their secondary. So I'm giving the edge to Josh Allen and the boys in Buffalo.
Well, I like that, and I also agree with you. I actually have a bigger win for the Bills, 28-20 for me in this one. I like the Bills' remade defensive front. They drafted in the first and second rounds reinforcements to help them get faster along that front, and the Steelers' O-line is questionable at best. So when I look to see what might potentially happen in this one, I think the defense for the Buffalo Bills will actually help them kind of get everything sort of going, excited up there in Buffalo. And by the way, it is a fun stadium to be in. I got a chance to spend some preseason time there, so it's going to be wild there. Wild.
Oh, you did. I saw it, Cynthia. I've got the Bills winning 30-26 too, but you took a lot of grief from Bills Mafia last year, and yet now you're a member of Bills Mafia.
Wow.
Like, is the model biased? Like, if you got a lot of tweets about them before, you're going to get a lot of AFC East tweets wondering if you're a Bills homer now. I'm going a closer score, 30-26. I think both offenses have so many weapons. There was all that talk like, oh, will they get rid of Cole Beasley? No, you watch that preseason game. When you need a play, Josh Allen goes to Cole Beasley, Stephon Diggs, Gabriel Davis is underrated. So I love this team to put up a ton of points, but I think the Steelers will put up points too. Should be a fun one.
All right, we are all in agreement on the first one. I think that the Bills win. I think that the Steelers keep it close. Listen, I'm a Browns fan. I loved the collapse at the end of last year, but they did collapse. I think that they're going to want to come out swinging. Big Ben. Listen, I got the TB12 recipe book behind me. I think he has been looking at that. Apparently doesn't mess with avocados, but everything else he's all in, and apparently he looks like he's in great shape. This one is going to be a lot of fun. Let's move on to the next one. Packers Saints down in Jacksonville after Hurricane Ida forced this one to move from New Orleans. Green Bay favored by 3.5. Cynthia, who do you got in this one?
Well, I have Green Bay in this one. I have a pretty commanding lead. Now, I would feel better if David Bakhtiari were playing this because left tackles do make a big, huge difference. And I think that it's interesting to see how Aaron Rodgers will adapt. I will say, I don't think it's going to be, I'm going to say the word, that big of a deal. He's still got it. I have a pretty commanding 6-point win, 30-24 is my final score in this one. But I do think that it will matter, and going forward, this is something to monitor as we see the Packers kind of Super Bowl or playoff potential.
This is the second straight game I disagree with Cynthia. I'm off to a rough start this season. Just in terms of how big the score is. I think the Packers win by 3 points, 29-26. Green Bay shouldn't have any problems putting up points against the Saints secondary, who don't have Bradley Roby yet. They traded for him, but he's suspended this week. And you just wonder, poor Aaron Rodgers, could he just get some weapons? He's got a top 5 running back. He's got the best receiver in the league. He's got maybe the best backup running back in the league in A.J. Dillon. He's got Marcus Valdes-Scantling. He's got Alan Lazard. He's got Randall Cobb. He's got a great tight end. It's this poor guy. It's only if the front office would surround him with some talent, maybe he could have more than 48 touchdowns.
Oh, I like what you did there, Greg. I'm going with the Packers as well. I got the Packers winning 34-30. I think the Saints play really good. Specifically, I think Jameis Winston has a little bit of a day, but I got to give the edge to the Green Bay Packers offense. There's too much firepower. Like Greg just alluded to, they got Aaron Jones, they got the Devontae Adams, and obviously they got the returning MVP, Aaron Rodgers. The biggest question mark for me is the Saints defense. Cynthia talked about it. Are they going to be able to get pressure on them? And what does this offensive line look like for the Green Bay Packers? That's my biggest question. But ultimately, I think they get out of there with a W.
Yeah, I'm going Packers as well. Can we all just take a second and be thankful that Aaron Rodgers is here playing football and not retiring with a man bun on Jeopardy, although I would have loved to see that. But I think that nobody gets that close to retirement and then comes out and has a blasé season. He said that he just wants to enjoy this year for all it has to offer. He was the league MVP last year. They were really good last year. I think he's got a chip on his shoulder and points to prove this year. I can't wait to watch these guys. Cynthia, let's dive deeper and do the math. I failed 9th grade math, so I'm hoping to learn a little something from you. Take it away.
Well, you want to take a look at Devontae Adams, who projects to have more than 87.5 receiving yards. This season, a big theme that I'm watching are slot corners, or rather, when people don't have as good of slot corners. Last season, more than ever before, Devontae Adams lined up in the slot, caught a bunch of passes there. That was one of the changes we saw with the Matt LaFleur offense. I think this is the game plan to absolutely beat the Saints. They're going to start off fast, and I think not only does he have more than 87.5 receiving yards, but he also gets in the end zone. Seems like an inevitable conclusion to me.
Okay. Let's move on to the next game, on to Indy, where the Colts host the Seahawks. Hopefully Carson Wentz hasn't stubbed a toe. Seahawks road favorites by 3. Greg, who do you like in this one?
I like the Seahawks, and by more than 3 because of their pass rush. If you look at the Colts left tackle situation, they will not have Eric Fisher back. He practiced, has that Achilles injury, but he's not going to be ready. So it's Julian Davenport, who did not look good in the preseason, hasn't looked good previously, and Carson Wentz, when he's playing a team that can get after the passer, including these Seahawks, he struggles. He holds onto the ball forever. And Seahawks Twitter, which is a dangerous place, they're funny. They get angry. They take themselves very seriously. They are into this Seahawks pass rush. Dunlop and Poona Ford, and I like some of their young players, Alton Robinson and Darrell Taylor. So I think they're going to have a great week 1, get after Carson Wentz.
Nice.
Hey, Greg, I don't know if you know this, but I used to play in the NFL, and you mentioned Carlos Dunlap. He was a former teammate of mine. Yeah, that's a real thing. I just wanted to put that out there, that anybody who played with me now, Greg, is now old. If you were a former teammate of mine, you're in the NFL, you're an old guy, which is weird. I'm going with the Seahawks as well. I have the Seahawks winning 27-17. I'm looking at this new look offense for the Seattle Seahawks. Specifically, the matchup, Shane Waldron. That's the guy I'm looking at with Russell Wilson. What is this offense going to look like? Last time we seen Russ in this offense, it wasn't being spread. The ball wasn't being spread around like we typically see the way that Russ likes to do. It was being forced a little bit to DK. And we know that Waldron, coming from the Rams, the ability for them to spread the ball to Woods, spread the ball to Cooper Kupp is the thing that keeps their offense special. So I think that is what we're going to see take place in this week 1 for the Seahawks, and they're going to come away with the victory.
Ooh, Cynthia.
I am going to be, yet again, different from Greg, and now different from the other Hawk as well. Now this one, too. I have 26-24 in favor of the Colts. Would I prefer Eric Fisher playing? Yes, of course, here again. But Quentin Nelson might play, so that's very helpful. And I think this defense, as in the Seattle Seahawks defense, they're not going to bring a bunch of pressure in the middle, which means Jonathan Taylor, who's able to really run between the tackles well. He gets a lot of yards after contact. He's very slippery when it comes to that. I think that's the way to keep Carson Wentz upright, happy, healthy, keeping the chains moving. So for me, the Colts sneak this one into a little upset territory.
All right, speaking of Carson Wentz, he's kind of the reason why I'm going to take Seattle here. Listen, I hope that he plays great, and I hope that he jumps right back into things. But people, he had a bone taken out of his foot weeks ago and was supposed to be out for 5 to 12 weeks. He's made a miraculous comeback, which is great for him. But sometimes you just need to sit back, sit on my couch, and take the lay of the land until I start making picks on Carson Wentz, okay? Coming up, Rachel, I think you're going to tell us what's coming up. Over to you. Hey, thanks, Rachel. Great shirt, by the way. Coming up, we are talking 2021 MVP, Cynthia's favorite individual performances for Week 1, plus some important advice for my fellow Browns fans who may be having a tough time dealing with high expectations.
Hey, the Browns suck!
What did you just say to me? Get back here! He's gone. He's gone. Wow. Right, this is my chair? Okay. Testing, 1, 2, 3, Roger. Sorry. Hi, I am Rachel. I am a life coach of sorts. I help football fans. I help them when they are fans of a historically bad team. And good news for them, they're not bad anymore. Cleveland Browns had 11 wins last year. I keep on telling them that. So helping them navigate this whole new world. And it's a lot of work, but a lot of insecurity, a lot of triggers. Okay, we are meditating. Breathe in, and out.
Hey, the Browns suck!
What did you just say to me? Get back here! He's gone. Week 1 is probably the most difficult time for these fans. All right, guys, it is Week 1, and the Browns are going to be very good. It's a real simple task. All you got to do is say, good. I'm not saying it. I'm not jinxing it. You say it. It's a difficult job, but our success stories are what keeps me going. Yeah. Okay. It just takes time, and they'll get there. The Cleveland Browns are good. The Browns are good.
The Browns still suck!
I swear to God, he's back. Security, get him again, please. Thank you. God. Oh, yeah, baby. Let's talk a little Brownies. I am not one of those fans, okay? I am not fearful about this season. I am focused and feeling good. I will go first. Browns in Kansas City getting 5.5 points in this one. Listen, I got a bone to pick. It's my first day on NFL Network, and I'm going to call out one Peter Schrager this morning on Good Morning Football. Yeah, that's right, Schrags. He was talking about how Patrick Mahomes is undefeated in September and throwing 1 million touchdowns and no picks. Guess what? I don't care, because that ends this weekend. That ends this September. The Brownies, they did their work on defense in the offseason. My favorite thing going into this season is that it's crickets. No guys from the team are talking. OBJ hasn't talked to media since he's gotten back. They are focused. Okay, we're not seeing videos of Baker crushing beers on TMZ. It's amazing. It's beautiful. They are ready to just let the football talk. I've seen a lot of Browns Super Bowl picks so far. I am so excited for the season. They start off with a bang, and they beat the Chiefs. Hawk, what do you like?
Oof. I love it. It feels good to have another Browns homer on this show. I'm with you. I'm going with the Browns. I have the Browns winning 24-20 because I think this defense is legit. It's the most talented defense in the National Football League. Specifically, I'm looking at a rookie, Jeremiah Owusu-Koramoah, a guy that got in the second round. I think he was the best value draft pick of last year. He can do everything for Joe Woods' defense. He can blitz, he can cover, he can play in the box, he can guard your slot, he can guard your tight end. And we know the Kansas City Chiefs offense runs through Travis Kelce. Now, I'm not saying he's going to shut down Kelce, but what I'm saying is he is a person that fills a big void for them. If you look at how they lost a year ago, he helps this defense, and he can fill a void in the middle of that defense in a lot of different ways. I got the Browns.
Ooh, I like the Browns defense a lot, and I especially like their defensive backs, and that's why I have them keeping it closer than maybe than Kansas City Chiefs fans might like. I have a 28-23 victory for the Chiefs. So still the Chiefs, but a very close one. It's a nice one. We gotta light this one up. It's one of my finest ones. I think the interesting part when you look at the secondary last year, they finished like almost near the bottom of the league, but they really addressed these needs. They got Greg Newsome. They got a whole bunch of draft picks in addition to their free agent signings. They got John Johnson III. This isn't really going to be a very much improved secondary, but this is still Patrick Mahomes and that passing offense, and it's still going to be a very interesting game.
Yeah, I like the Chiefs here. I mean, what are we talking about? It's Patrick Mahomes at home. It's 33-27. I also love Rachel calling out NFL Network talent, especially Peter Schrager, right off the top. Like, if you want to take a rocket ship to the lower middle portions of the NFL, like, that's what I've done, and that's where I've landed. Let's go KC and their running game, though. Let's talk about it. Like, in the preseason, Andy Reid was doing some things. He was showing a lot more in terms of their road graders up front. If you want to sound smart about football, you just say road graders a lot. And I liked the formations, I liked the focus, and I liked all the play that they got in the preseason while the Browns sat their starters. So I think KC starts out a little faster, gets a 6-point win.
I cannot wait for this game. I'm going to be very nervous about it. Okay, let's talk individuals in proper performances. Cynthia, let's start with my guy, Nick Chubb in KC. What do you like here?
All right. Well, I like him to rush for more than 71.5 yards in this matchup. I just looked at the injury report and double-checked it, and Chris Jones is questionable. That means that there's a good opportunity in the middle of the field where we see Nick Chubb get a bunch of yards after contact. Greg, what do you think about this one?
Ooh, I like it. I mean, I always like Nick Chubb. I feel like he needs a nickname. Like, he does not need a life coach. He is Mr. running back in the NFL. I would rank him number one overall.
Well,
Nick Chubb is my fantasy team name.
He got paid too.
Rightly so. Josh Allen versus the Steelers, Cynthia. What do you like here?
Well, more than 274.5 passing yards in this matchup. Steelers' defensive front is very strong, but Josh Allen, well, this guy, nobody averaged higher air yards per attempt on pressured passes last season. That's a next-gen stat. He was really good at being off-platform and really getting to his receiver, especially Stephon Diggs, in unfavorable situations, meaning when he wasn't necessarily completely set. I don't think that stops this season.
Jonathan Taylor versus Seahawks. What do you like in that one?
Ooh, Jonathan Taylor, especially if Quentin Nelson plays, to have more than 67.5 rushing yards. The Seahawks defensive front is an area of vulnerability. I think Jonathan Taylor is how they keep Carson Wentz upright, moving the sticks, and everything kind of staying in their favor. Ball control is how the Colts win this one.
All right, let's talk a little Mr. Unlimited, shall we? Russell Wilson's 2021 passing touchdown. Cynthia, what do you like?
I think for the season, Russell Wilson has more than 33.5 passing touchdowns. I don't love his O-line, let me be clear, but I think the opportunity for Russell Wilson to make more magic. I'm not going to say that thing that we used to say in the beginning of last season because we overused it. So he's just going to, there's going to be something that happens and it's going to be good, and then he's going to connect for 34 passing touchdowns. One of you two weigh in on this. You were very quiet during this segment. Hawk?
Well, Hawk's just trying to look
cook.
good,
Let Russ cook. Okay, I'll say it, Cynthia. I think he balls out. I think even in his down years, he's still one of the most, if not the most consistent quarterback over the span of his career in the NFL. I love that one.
Yeah, the whole little off-season story. Remember those 3 weeks when Russell Wilson was kind of trying to get traded out of Seattle? That's all forgotten. I'm with you. I think he goes way over 33.5. Has a great season.
All right, guys, we're going to talk about more football coming up after this.
When you look at what Mac Jones brings to the table, he obviously brings a lot.
He has an abundance amount of talent.
Mac Jones, Mac Jones, Mac Jones. What does the rookie quarterback do in his first NFL start against the Dolphins? And do we like his odds to win Rookie of the Year? Find out next on Game Day View, presented by Mercedes EQ. All right, back on Game Day View, and check out this offer from FanDuel. Bet $5 to win $200 on any NFL team to win in Week 1. New customers get 40-1 odds when you place your first wager. This is no Hail Mary. It is that simple. Make every NFL moment more with FanDuel Sportsbook. Okay, let's get right back into it, guys. Chargers against the team with no name in it, Washington, both favored by 1.5 in this game. Cynthia, get us started. Who do you like in this one?
Well, I like Washington to win by 2 points. It's the time of year where the sun's coming in on my face in the middle of us doing this show, which probably means that it's glowing. I'm glowing. It's a glowing projection for the passing offense for Washington. Really like the opportunity for the deep pass and connecting on the deep pass. Ryan Fitzpatrick did a good job of that in every team that he's ever been on. The interesting part here, obviously, we're going to talk a little more Terry McLaurin in a second, but Curtis Samuel just went on IR, which means they're going to rely more on Terry McLaurin than before. And this guy is one of the best, maybe most underrated wide receivers in the league.
Yeah, you look at the matchup that Washington has in this first week. Like, I like it for their offense. It's going to be tougher on defense. I am taking the Washington football team, though.
Whoa.
I like that name, and I think if they win the division or win some playoff games again, that's going to be their name. It'll stick. The player and the coach I want to talk about, though, is on the Chargers side. I find them more fascinating. Joey Bosa and Derwin James under Brandon Staley are going to be really exciting to watch. Even if it doesn't all come together this week and they lose a tight game, just think of what Brandon Staley has inherited as a defensive play caller. Last year, Jalen Ramsey and Aaron Donald. We've seen what he can do with two of the best defensive players in the league and a bunch of guys. Like, they were the best defense in the league. He's got that once again with Bosa and James. I'm so curious to see how he has it. It's almost unfair. Unfair like my setup with like my dead turtle in the background, and then Hawk's setup, which is directed by Steven Spielberg. Like, I am so looking forward to being in a studio together and being on an even playing field.
It's so weird that they never sent you the 9K camera they sent me, Greg. That is very weird. I'm going with the Chargers. Okay, I got the Chargers with a 3-point win. 23-20. The matchup I'm looking at is Chase Young versus Justin Herbert. Justin Herbert led the NFL in passing yards with 415 yards, 5 TDs with deep throws against pressure. We know Chase Young can get to the quarterback, but I'm still giving the edge to Justin Herbert, even though I think it will be tough for him against this Washington defense, the Washington no-name football team, the Washington to be named later. Chargers get the W, and also I increased my pick lead against Cynthia and Greg.
What?
Washington
Third place last year.
Third
place last year, Hawk.
Yeah, I can't wait to get into that, the standings. I'm with Hawk. I'm a big Justin Herbert guy. The Chargers were 5-7 last year in one-score games. Justin Herbert, another year in the league. They got a new head coach. I think that, so many of those games could have gone the other way, and we'd be talking about a whole different kind of Chargers team last year. So I'm going to go Chargers with Hawk on this one. Cynthia, let's dive deeper and do the math. Let's talk a little Terry McLaurin.
I told you I like Terry McLaurin with a deep pass, but I also like the opportunity to target a defense that's coming together. I like Brandon Staley a lot. I think at the end of the season, we're going to see a really improved, interesting Chargers defense. There's a lot of young guys. They're not necessarily knowing how they all work together. Derwin James was not healthy last season. Asante Samuel, they don't know exactly where we're going to put everyone. And remember, they don't have Casey Hayward anymore, but they do get Chris Harris Jr. back. I think in this matchup, Washington takes advantage of the fact that they haven't had as much experience together. So maybe even some De'Ami Brown helps out, meaning they'll draw away coverage to get Terry McLaurin, which leads him to having more than 68.5 receiving yards against the Chargers.
There you go. All right, let's keep it moving. How's Bill Belichick feeling today, I wonder? Two former Alabama quarterbacks squaring off as the Dolphins take on the Patriots. Nick Saban will have some stern words for the QB who loses, I'm sure. Pat's favored by 3 at home. I'm excited to watch this football team. Greg, what do you think? What are you taking?
Yeah, I love this game. I think these are both 10, 11 win type of teams that can both make the playoffs. I have the Patriots winning this first game 24-20 because I trust their offensive line more, and I like the young defensive talent in New England. There's been so much focus on Mac Jones, which is understandable. But this defense was lousy last year. It was worse than their offense. Now they got Josh Uche, who's looked unbelievable in the preseason. Rookie Christian Barmore breaking up plays. You have Donta Hightower back. You have Chase Winovich, who's always going to make a couple plays. It's a young group. You add Matthew Judon to that mix, and I think it's going to be a really good scoring defense. Patriots get the Week 1 win, just like they did a year ago when Cam Newton was their quarterback.
Ooh, TBT, Hawk?
Yeah, I mean, I like it. I'm not going homer here because I am a former Patriot. Everyone knows about my career with the Patriots. It was one that
goodness.
many leather-bound
How many
books
weeks
were
was
written
it?
about.
I'm taking notes now. I got to write these down.
I was there for at least 4 weeks. It was the best 4 weeks that anybody had ever seen in New England. But I'm actually going with the Dolphins for a 4-point win. I got them winning 17-13. And the reason being, it is hard for any quarterback to match up against this Brian Flores-led defense, let alone a rookie in his first start. And if there's one defensive coach in the league that knows the Patriots offense better than anyone in New England, it's Brian Flores. He gets it. He understands it. And last year, they went against Justin Herbert, who was the offensive rookie of the year, and they held him to under 200 yards. So there's so many factors in here. I just don't like a rookie quarterback going up against a Flores defense. Belichick has always been known for shutting down rookie QBs. A big part of that, Brian Flores. I think the Dolphins get the win.
Ooh, I like it. I'm with you, Hawk. I'm with you, Hawk. I have 23-22 Dolphins win this game, partly for what you said. I think that the blitz concepts and the opportunity that Dolphins defense has to confuse and trick a rookie quarterback. Mac Jones also, remember, he played at Alabama where he had the benefit of an awesome O-line, the benefit of, Heisman Trophy winning wide receiver, and then another first-round pick wide receiver. And then he also had the opportunity there to, have a running back that was top-notch. Well, I think this is going to be kind of an interesting game from the standpoint of which of these quarterbacks is going to shine at the end of the season. I agree, actually, with Greg that they're both playoff contenders, but in this one, I think the Dolphins win.
I'm going to go Patriots. I think Bill Belichick was watching last night, and I think he's ready to put his team on full display. You saw that Subway commercial, okay? Bill is upset that Tom Brady is taking his star power away. I'm going Patriots. Let's take a look into the future, shall we? Let's see what's going to go down this year. Let's talk a little NFL MVP odds according to FanDuel Sportsbook. Huck, what do you like? Who wins NFL MVP?
There's a lot of people here that I like. I think Lamar Jackson has a bounce-back year. Josh Allen, he balled last year, but I do think he dips a little bit. I'm going with Patrick Mahomes. That's the safe pick. I mean, this guy, yes, he balled last year. We still look at him like it was a down year. I mean, he loses the Super Bowl. This guy is coming back this year with a vengeance. He will be the National Football League's MVP at the end of this season.
This was really brave of you, Hawk. Really brave.
Thank you. I mean,
NFL offensive rookie of the year odds according to FanDuel Sportsbook. Who we got up next for this one?
Well, when I'm looking at this one, obviously quarterback is going to be the pick, right? So for me, it actually nets out to be Justin Fields, because you have to think about what our perceptions are right now, meaning Justin Fields isn't the starter. We don't know when he's going to start. He has the opportunity to play hero, getting the Bears into the playoffs. Once he becomes that starter, I think we'll see the stark contrast between what happened prior to him and then what happens after him. In many ways, I think Justin Fields could be the quarterback from this draft class who has the longest career, the most successful career. So I think it does start whenever he starts starting. So I'm kind of dependent on Matt Nagy to put him in there at least sometime soon for my pick to pan out.
Awesome. Producer Tanton is shaking in his boots about this season. He's a big Bears fan. T's and P's to you, Tanton. NFL Defensive Player of the Year odds according to FanDuel Sportsbook. Greg, who do you like in this one?
I like someone that's not even on the board. I mean, put some respect on Chris Jones's name. Maybe it's just the name is boring. But when they would line him up on the outside defensive end in the preseason, I just thought he is set up for a monster year. He's on a great team. That always helps. And I like that plus 7,000. I got to make up and get some Hawk money. You know what I mean? This is my only chance.
You got to upgrade that set, my dude. That plus 7,000 is looking quite nice. There you go. All right, more football, more game day view after the break. Don't go anywhere.
Hurts is rolling. He's looking. He puts it in the air. Touchdown, Greg Ward.
Coming up on Game Day View presented by Mercedes EQ, we've got the Igs taking on the Dirty Birds, Sam Darnold's revenge game versus Gang Green, and Big Blue playing host to Teddy Two Gloves. I promise I'm not talking in code. Quick Fix is after this quick break. All right, welcome back to Game Day View, presented by Mercedes EQ. Guys, it is time for some quick picks. Let's get right into it. Eagles at Falcons. Falcons favored by 3. Greg is the only one going with Philadelphia. Hot take. You're going to have to explain yourself. Greg, you have the floor.
I love this one to take an early week 1 lead. I love their offensive line. I love their defensive line. Football starts up front, and it's a perfect matchup for Jalen Hurts to kind of ease into the NFL as a starter in week 1. The Lane Johnson and Jason Kelsey, and the rest of that line, to me, overpowers Atlanta up front, and they get the road victory.
Easy to just ease right into the NFL when everyone's going to have their eyes on you and the Eagles. Okay, Broncos at Giants. Broncos favored by 3. Cynthia says this one will be closer than that. Cynthia, what do you think?
Didn't Greg just say that the game's won up front? No? Yes?
Yeah,
okay.
sure.
Well, Bradley Chubb is going to have something to say about that. I think the O-line is still an area of concern. I think that on the other side, Teddy Bridgewater brings just enough stability in not turning the ball over to rely on this defense to carry this team. I also think last year's sneaky style, there were 3 wide receivers that Teddy Bridgewater made top 25 fantasy receivers. So in this case, I think there's going to be more offense than you might expect.
Ooh, I got the Broncos by even more, by 6. I have a lot riding on these Broncos, like emotionally. Teddy Bridgewater, just everything. Like, this is my team this year, the Denver Broncos.
Yeah, Teddy, 2 gloves. I'm with you, Greg. Big Teddy fan. You're right, Cynthia. Up front, the Giants. Everyone says, without an O-line, how is Daniel Jones going to play well? How is Saquon going to play well? Right? They got to get that O-line right. Going against the Broncos isn't going to help them.
I wonder what's going to happen when we're all on the same team. I think we're going to find out on Monday. Is it a good thing? Is it a bad thing? We'll let you know next week. Ignore it. Listen to it. Who knows? Jets at Panthers. Panthers favored by 3.5. Hawk, you think Sam Darnold gets his revenge here? I'm, sneaky excited for this game.
Me too, because it's funny. I actually like the Jets, and I think the Jets are going to be a lot better than people suspect. I love LaFleur. I love the offense. I love Elijah Moore. I love Zach Wilson. But you're right. I love players in revenge games. So I think whatever the best version of Sam Darnold is, you're going to see him in week 1 with that version. I think he balls out, and I think the Panthers get the W. Everyone celebrates, and that's the storyline for the week.
This has meme alert potential. So that's what happens, Rachel, when we're all wrong. You get the screenshots, you get a lot of it in the mentions, and Hawk loves the Jets so much, he has them covering or winning by 5 against one of the worst quarterbacks in the league, Sam Darnold. That's how much he loves him.
I did read something about how Jets defense is very excited to get their hands on Sam Darnold, so I think he might actually be seeing for real ghosts this weekend, and I can't wait to watch. Bears at Rams. Rams favored by 7.5. Greg is the only one who thinks this is a 1-score game.
I guess I'm the real Andy Dalton fan here. Hit me up, Andy. I know he's always texting Hawk, but I believe in you. I believe you can at least keep it close and maybe keep this job into week 2. You're a professional quarterback. They got professional receivers around him with Darnell Mooney and Allen Robinson. I think they'll be okay.
It's not about him.
I'm learning
it's about their weakness, which is the offensive line, and they're going against a monster by the name of Aaron Donald, who I also know personally and am also scared of, Greg. So
okay,
I had to go one way.
We're hitting the Game Day View bingo. Hawks now mentioned he's a player and his friends 5 different times in the show.
All the name drops in first episode. All the name drops.
Cynthia, go ahead.
Sorry, Cynthia.
I can't really even hear what's going on, so I'm just going to agree with all the rest of you.
Okay,
so
great.
Everything's
This
great.
is what television is all about,
here.
baby. Day 1,
I'm
off
just
to
standing
the
and
races.
smiling. I have no idea. What you're saying. It's going to be
Raiders
great.
at Raiders on Monday night. Ravens favored by 3.5. Cynthia, all on the Ravens this week. But how did those injuries on Thursday affect their win projections for 2021?
Yeah, so it took it down quite significantly. This is after J.K. Dobbins situation that already eroded their chances. Rachel, this is where our best friendship solidifies, because what really happened is the Browns got pushed even higher to win the AFC North in this one. And also, it actually even helped the Chiefs too, which is kind of crazy because they play the Chiefs in week 2, so they don't necessarily have enough time to adjust from their injuries. And that means the Chiefs are more likely to win that game, which means they're more likely to have the first round bye in the playoffs.
I just see a lot of like positioning here for like best friendship right off the bat. It's like very interesting.
Obviously. Jealousy already. That's weird. The only thing I don't want this to create any kind of like asterisk situation. I want the Ravens healthy so we can beat the healthy Ravens. That would feel good to me. All right, here are some picks we didn't get to. More week 1 picks. Looks like I'm the only one on the Bengals. I want to see Joe Burrow shine, okay? I want to see some magic. Unless he's playing my team. More football coming up after the break. Stay tuned.
Play fake here, though. Rodgers going for it all. He's got it! Lazard! Touchdown, Green Bay!
Next on Game Day View, points are good. Points are right. Points work. Points clarify. Points cut through and capture the essence of the evolutionary spirit. Sorry, crypto has me watching too much Wall Street. We're breaking down week 1 point totals after this timeout.
Snap, and they give it to McKenzie. He wants to throw, throws it back to Josh, who makes the catch at the 10. Allen at the 5, diving into the end zone, touchdown! Unbelievable.
He's throwing it long. Gunning it long, Tyreek Hill holds it in at the 20, 15, 10, 5, touchdown!
Taylor and Ayuk are going to run a smoke route to Ayuk back right, and he will run for a 49er first down, break a tackle down the sideline 10, jump over a man, and dive into the end zone!
I want to hear it, I want to hear it. Ayuk! Ayuk is on fire!
And that is going to be stuck in my head the rest of the day. Okay, it is time for Predict the Points presented by FanDuel Sportsbook. Let's take a look at... Hold on. I'm seeing a lot of foam fingers. I'm in a beautiful studio right now, and you guys are showing off your foam fingers. That's real nice. I got a gold thumbs up behind me, okay? Take that. How you like them golden apples, okay?
I'm flexing on you. We got 3. We got extra.
Is this rookie hazing?
You got to earn it, Rachel. You got to earn it.
Let's take a look at some of this week's point totals, and we will tell you if these games will have more or less. Okay, we are starting with Packers at Saints in Jacksonville, more or less 49.5 points. Let's reveal the picks. Let's see what we got. I believe I am going more. Hawk, what do you like in this one? More.
I like more.
I like it. Aaron Rodgers has something to prove. How? Why? I don't know. He was MVP last year, but that's what I'm going with. Hawk, why do you like more?
I mean, they're going to be throwing the ball all over the yard. One thing Jameis can do is he can put points up. He might have a couple turnovers, but yeah, both of these quarterbacks are going to light up the scoreboard.
Don't put that bad energy out there, okay? I love Jameis Winston. Cynthia, what are you going with?
Oh, I'm
Okay,
going more.
we're moving
I don't
on.
know,
Browns.
whatever this says, more. I'm not sure. Still can't
Okay,
hear anything.
Browns
More
at
good.
Chiefs, more or less than 54.5 points. I believe I'm going less. The only fireworks that are going to be happening are from the Browns. Cynthia, why are you going less?
I'm going less because of that Browns secondary being much improved. I also think just in general, there's going to be a little bit more running on both sides. Running efficiently for the Browns means less possessions, so less.
I mean, what teams are we talking about here? We got Patrick Mahomes, we got Kevin Stefanski, we got Andy Reid, we got Tyreek Hill, we got your boy Baker Mayfield doing his skits, and he's gonna go less now. I'm feeling great about this one.
I like all those things that you said, but I'm still going less. Jets at Panthers, more or less than 44.5 points. I'm going less. These guys want to get their hands on Sam Darnold. Okay, a little more. Cynthia, you going more?
I'm going more. I think that Christian McCaffrey makes it a Sam Darnold get his mojo back situation. I think we see a touchdown to Robbie Anderson because that's poetic, and this thing is huge. Look at it, it's very big. More.
Oh, there you go. Painted nails. Broncos at Giants, more or less than 41.5 points.
Ooh.
I'm going less.
This is my favorite one of the mix. This is just set up to be a rock fight. Two good defenses and two coaches who just don't let their quarterbacks throw it. So, let Teddy Two Gloves fly. Please, just let him throw the ball.
Okay, sounds good. All right, Chargers at Washington, more or less than 44.5 points. What do we like? Come on, Justin Herbert. You got this. You have got this all the way. Fuck, you're so sure. Now I got to hear from you. You're going last. Why?
These defenses, that's what we're talking about. This is Chase Young on one side, Joey Bosa on the other. They're not going to let people light them up in week one. There's going to be less points.
You're week one, early in the season, no weather issues. Everyone's healthy and happy. It's like the opening week game on Thursday night. I think a lot of points all over the place.
All right. This year, the NFL family will join together to recognize the 20th anniversary of tragic events of September 11th, 2001. Over on NFL.com, our hosts and producers have put together some incredible work honoring the lives of those we lost 20 years ago. To watch, visit NFL.com/remembering9/11. We'll be right back.
get ready for the biggest season ever.
He's a playmaker. He's a leader.
A beast of a running back.
Explosive, big play receiver.
This is one of the best defenses in the league.
There's a lot to look forward to in this game.
It's about that time.
What a catch! And he's got a touchdown! Big hole. Gets by Jones. Touchdown!
He throws the deep ball.
It is caught. What a play! He's off to the races. Goodbye!
Watching Aaron Rodgers and Patrick Mahomes, it just wows you.
Amazing! It is caught. What a catch!
They've got so much talent.
This guy is on fire right now.
And that is just the beginning.
Football is back.
All right, back on Game Day View. It is time for Drive to Excellence presented by Mercedes EQ. Here's a look at last year's standings, and Cynthia Freeland was the big winner for the 2020 season. Should we change her name to Queen? Queen Cynthia. All hail. I kind of like it. Queen of the Week, we can work on that title. Cynthia, you get 1 minute to talk about whatever you would like. Maybe it's the weird photo behind Greg that I'm just discovering. I don't know. What is it? You got 1 minute.
Well, I'm going to start my minute by saying I'm really grateful that we're all here. I'm going to be even more grateful when we're in a studio together. I couldn't hear like half of the show, so I know it's an awesome show. I'm going to have a fun time actually watching it back and hearing what everyone had to say. But I'm really glad we're all back together. I'm really glad you're joining our show. This is a fun show. We're going to have a fun season. I hope all the people at home are going to pick along with us and play right along. They can be the queen for their week in their own house as well, or king, you know, whatever you want to be. So I'm just very grateful for everyone for being here. And we're just going to have, I mean, it's football. It's fun. What else do we have to do?
I mean, in the NFL, don't playoffs matter more? Because I do remember there was a different playoff champion last year.
I go with gratitude. Greg takes a jab, you know? That's the one thing I did hear from the show.
Some arguments happening.
That's why Cynthia is a queen, because she takes her minute to give us all props, and Greg just immediately flips it right back to himself.
Well, I just want to say thank you guys I know you already had an established show that was killer to begin with, and I'm so excited to join. I'm fans of all three of you, so happy to be joining NFL Network. This has been the craziest week, I think, of my life, but we're going to be back next Friday for Game Day View. Cynthia and I are going to be on Game Day morning this Sunday, so tune into that and enjoy some football, everybody. It is back, baby. We'll see you soon.